Okay, time to look at the task 1 I set you a week or so ago. I haven't had a lot of time, but now I do, so we'll take a look at it. So first I'm going to show you my model example, and we'll take a look at whichever ones you sent me. There's maybe 4 or 5, I think. We'll take a look at it. Okay, so now, as you know, or you should know, because I've made several videos about this, you can find them on my my channel on YouTube, and we have some on a Parrot also. What you have to do, you need, in terms of structure, we need an introduction, an overview, and paragraph 3 and 4 with the details and data. So there's no figures in the introduction, no figures in the overview. The overview merely shows you what the key trends, as the criteria says, the key trends or features are. So, percentage of students giving good ratings to different aspects of a university in 2000, 2005, 2010. Summarise the information, main features, not all features. Make comparisons. Okay, so let's have a look. So the first things first, we have to give like an overview. So let's have a look at it. So we can see, so what's the obvious features here? Well, let me see. Teach in quality, with some minor variations, is there's not a great deal of change there. 65, 63, 69. So just a few percentage points. Okay. Print resources virtually identical, 87, 88, sorry, 89, 88. Electronic resources have doubled, so that's significant. Range of modules, very minor fluctuations, buildings, teachings, identical. So the first thing, so there's usually only 3 key features which you should report on in a task. So we can see 1 key feature, these across the years, identical, virtually identical, virtually identical, virtually identical, with 1 exception. Electronic resources has doubled, more or less. So that's basically it. That's what we have to do. Okay. Introduction time. Table illustrates the results of several surveys from 2000 to 2010 in a single university. Figures are, the figures in percentages. So we've included it's from this year to this year, some different surveys. The figures are in percentages from students, how they rate the various services on offer. 5 services ranging from quality teaching to buildings and facilities. Okay, so that's what you need for an introduction. Make sure you get as much of the information in as possible. It's in this year, in this place, it includes this, it covers X, Y, Z, etc. The next thing that we need is an overview. Only key features. So, as I've said, the most obvious thing here, how little the percentages change. There's only 1 exception, electronic resources, which is double. Everything else, it's either identical or very little change. So that's it. There's not a great deal there. So I would always use something like from an overall perspective, overall view, etc. And all that we've got now are figures and data. Now, because there's only like 5 categories, we can take them one by one. So we can see teaching, very minor fluctuations, 65, 63, 69 in 2010. Print resources, 87, 88, 89, blah, blah, blah. Range, 32, 37, blah, 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 blah. And then the only one, the outlier, as it were, electronic resources, which it doubled in size, blah, blah, blah. 186 words. That's it. That's all that you basically need. And that would get you a band 9. Or at least 8.5, because, I mean, this particular table, it's not that hard, but all the information's covered. Good solid introduction, it covers this, it covers that. The overview's good, we've got the figures and data. So it's pretty sweet. That's it, that's all that we need. Now, let's have a look. Where did I put yours? Students, get this out of the way. This one's yours. Okay, the table represents outcomes. Well, it represents the outcomes. Outcomes of some surveys which are held about a university in 3 different years. Well, if you compare this introduction to mine, you can see it's pretty sketchy. It doesn't really include anything. Oh, there's some surveys about a university. It doesn't tell you what it's measured in or range of services, etc. So that introduction could do with a little bit of attention. Overall, slight fluctuations, sharp increase and gradual decrease, buildings and sense. Okay. So with well, it was only like a couple of points, so it's hardly a decrease. And it wasn't a sharp increase, it's essentially, it's doubled. So I would have mentioned that. It's doubled. Okay, the proportion of students who gave good scores as well as ratings had a sharp went up. What had a sharp increase, sharp rise in the aspect of electronic resources from 45.72 was the lowest about 80%. I don't know why you've got 2 sentences there. On the other hand, this trend for range of modules software had a gradual fell down. I mean, a gradual decline, a gradual fall. Blah blah blah. Rates of teaching quality had small fluctuations, etc. So I don't know why you would do one and that and and this and that. Why not have them teach? Inequality was blah blah blah, then printed resources was blah blah blah. Only aspects of surveys, or the surveys which remained popular, which remained unchanged. It's not popular or not, it's unchanged, essentially. Okay. So, could do with a bit of work. This one here, this looks really, really short. I don't even know what the word count is. Let's have a look. 106. Well, you would get an automatic several band reduction here because it's way too short. A conducted survey in 5 different aspects of university in 3 years depicts its students. Well, that shouldn't be in your introduction. The introduction should just be, this shows this, it includes this, and that's it. And I think we only have 3 paragraphs here, 1, 2, and 3. Overall, more popular, but it's not about lost interest. Well, it's not a lost interest, is it? It's just its ratings remained sustained in these 3 years. What you mean unchanged? Print resources rapidly increased the popularity. You mean they doubled? 15%? Oh dear. Well, right, so there's quite a lot of things here. Way too short, only 3 paragraphs. The English is not so good. I'm not going to say anything further about that one. Given, you mean the table shows? Comparing the proportion of students' positive responses to surveys, various items. Okay. Again, it doesn't tell you how it's measured or etc. or what the various items are. Majority of students were satisfied with print resources. Well, it's not exactly. Opinion was it on range? Oh dear. Okay, well that doesn't really tell me anything, does it? Was it like 4 out of 5 are virtually unchanged and 1 of them has doubled? So that's all you would need to say there. Of course, look at the table clarifies that students were more it doesn't say if they were more content or not with the print resources, random modules, feedback for the form writer. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, so this is how you would structure the information. So what I would have done, I would have just put the first 4 in paragraph number 3, as I did in my example, and then just put the unchanged one at the end, 77, 77, and 77. That's how I would have approached that one. The picture illustrates the results. Well, the picture, it's a table. Again, how's it what's it measured in? What's the range? Okay. Print resources are the most important subject. Another student showed their pleasure. Well, I didn't really share it, so I just rated it in a particular way. 87% of students gave a good rating to the print resources. Significant vote in having a pleasant. How can you have a pleasant percentage rate? So okay, so this is probably how. Yeah, so this isn't too bad on how you do the data, but in the 2010, 69% of them, I would have done it right. If you take a look at my example again, you see, I think we've just got 2 more. Okay, so I think what you basically need here is you need a bit more attention to the layout and the structure. Results of the survey conducted to find out rating various aspects. How is it measured in percentage points? What aspects? According to the rating, well, it's not a graph, it's a table. Well, it decreased very marginally. As I say, 4 out of the 5 were basically unchanged. 2/3 teaching quality was high. 2/3 of all students. What's the exact figure? 2%, 2 on 5. It was witnessed compared to the previous year. Massive 87% student rated it good. Okay. Give us a table of the results of 3 surveys. Decrease. Okay. So these aren't too bad. These are heading along the right lines. But again, I'm just going to show you mine, and I think you probably learn more out of this. So, right, your introduction, try and get as much in as possible, right? For a band 9 score, for task score, it says there's nothing that you can eliminate. Let me see if I can find it for you. I'll just show you it quickly. Where did I put it? Here we go. No relevant information could be appropriately added to improve the task achievement. So if you've got as much information in as possible, now if you note the difference between my introduction and most of yours, you will see what that means. Relevant information, the more you can add, the better it will be. Okay? But you need your key features, bullet points. In other words, you have to have a clear overview. What's the main trends or differences? So, in my example, 4 out of the 5 more or less unchanged. 1 is completely unchanged. Only 1 is double. Okay, so back to it. Okay, the overview, main features. How little the percentages change, say the 1. And then take the categories one by one. It's only 5. So I would have put the unchanged ones in paragraph 3 and the exception, the outlier, in paragraph 4. 186 words. I'll just leave that on the screen so you can see it. Okay, so that's how I would approach that particular task.